have in your Tech Changemaker handbooks in order to present on writing professional resumes. In working on this, we've also reached out to a professional who does this for a living, and that's Amy Bratley, who is with Arizona at Work. And she's taken a look at this presentation and had some adjustments to make to it. And we got some of them in, but not all of them. So she may be hopping in to just clarify some things. But we welcome you to ask questions throughout it, because again, we've got somebody who does this for a living that can help answer any questions or uncertainties. So when you're presenting this session, the slide deck is already for you. You can get it in it and you can make adjustments to it, personalize it. We've got Pinal County here, but you can put the names of your presenters. You can put the name of your county to move on. The purpose, let's see if I can get this to advance. There you go. The purpose is to show key features of Microsoft Word in writing your resumes. So with Microsoft Word, you can create various types of documents such as letters, reports, resumes, newsletters, and so on. But it offers a user-friendly interface that allows you to customize the layout, customize font, sizes, styles, colors. You can do document creation and editing, formatting and styles, tables and graphics. Microsoft Word is a great tool to be able to use. And a lot of people that are entering the workforce did not grow up using it or aren't using it on a daily basis. Many of you are, your students, and so this is something that is daily usage for you. So when you're teaching it, just keep in mind that not everybody uses it. So you want to take your time and go through it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a resume. Our focus on this set of lessons is to go over what is needed for a professional resume. And then you'll be able to use computers and Microsoft Word to create a professional resume that you can take to a job fair or interview. A resume is a document used to show a person's background, their skills, their accomplishments. Resumes highlight your industry qualifications and help determine what differentiates you from other candidates. It basically is, why do we want to interview you? And Amy, go ahead anytime, hop in.
So, and the other thing that I on there is the education is missing. And then what I had suggested is we put in like just basically what you said, what are employers thinking when they're reading the resume? Why do they want to interview, and what do you have to offer us?
Right.
And
when a resume crosses a desk, the person is only looking at it for a few seconds. There's got to be something on there that is going to grab their attention. And you're right, education is missing, so I will add that. Thank you, Amy.
Sorry.
No. This is why you're here. Was there anything else?
Not on that one.
Okay. Are there any questions from people as far as why we would create a resume? Okay.
And go ahead.
Norma has her hand up.
Yes, Esther, I would add for the high school students, clubs that they're part of, extracurricular activities, community service that they may be doing.
Yep. And when we get to the parts, yeah, it will have that in there.
And I guess when I looked at it as from adults doing a resume versus, we do it a little bit differently if we would do it for youth.
Yes.
And we have to remember that we're presenting to people entering the workforce. For this year's project, we are addressing adults, but we do have kids exiting school that is their education and experience. So,
and if I can just add one thing, so as you take this information, we want all of you to actually build a resume, right? So that's the intent of this presentation is to give you the background information, a safe place to ask questions. Yes. And so that way we can help you build your resume. We're using this PowerPoint that's being used for the Tech Changemakers, and our Tech Changemakers are presenting these to adults.
Right.
So Esther is gonna, tweak things, and Amy's just mentioned, how this presentation might be specifically tailored to adults, but we're going to go ahead and just tweak a little bit when we need to modify it for yourself, like what Norma just indicated,
Right.
to include those things. One of the things that I would also suggest, if you're able to, on your computer right now, bring up a Word document. And as we're going through this, start putting in these sections that Esther is indicating that they're going to be there. That way you sort of work while you're doing this. So that way by the end of tonight, you at least have a draft that you're working on.
Right.
And as we continue to work through this, you fine tune it and you walk away with a solid resume. Okay.
So the different parts for resume are the contact information. And this, I know Amy's got a different order for this, so maybe I'll let Amy do this one.
Well, it's fine as far as contact information. The slides I would do in a different order, but contact information is be at the top, the objective. Then we would normally go work experience or skills, depending on how much experience they have or how familiar, how many skills they have. Education would be towards the end, and references. As a rule of thumb, we do not put references on resumes. You put available upon request. You do a separate document, have them available, but you do not give them on a resume.
Right. And that's a different packet that you would have when you go for the interview. You want to remember that this resume is to get you an interview. So like Amy mentioned, skills, if you don't have a lot of work experience, you're going to want to list your skills, and we'll come upon a slide that talks a little bit more about that coming up. When you're giving your contact information, you want your first and your last name. You do not want to use nicknames, so you don't want to do Bobo, you don't want to do Pumpkin, anything like that, unless that's your given name. And if that's so, I'm sorry. But you don't want to use any nicknames. As far as a mailing address, and Amy can give more insight on this as well, I've been told to just put your city and state, not an actual mailing address. Most employers are not mailing you information.
And it becomes a safety issue, especially for females who are trying resumes. It gives other people their chance to get to know exactly where they live. So to keep that more anonymous, they want just the city and state.
Right. You want to avoid any PO boxes. You don't want to be sending your mail to a PO box. You want to put your phone number. That is one way that employers will reach out to you. And your personal email, make sure that's a professional email. You don't want something like Hot Lips 33, anything like that. You want a professional email. If you don't have one, now's a good time to create one. You don't want to use a work email, and you want to use an email that you check regularly. Many times you'll be receiving emails, and if you don't check that email on a regular basis, you may miss an opportunity for an interview. And if you have a LinkedIn account, definitely use it.
With the phone number, also please make sure that they have a voicemail that is actually working and that it's an appropriate message on there. Preferably saying you have reached, Amy Bratley, please leave your name and number and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Versus, let's chat up. What's going on, dude? Leave a message, that type of thing.
Right. And again, you want to avoid that work email because it can be seen that you're using company resources for personal use. So you want to make sure that you are have an email that is valid. And again, if you need to create one for this purpose, you want to do that. So take a look at these two sets of contact information and what problems do you see based on what we just discussed? Which one is most appropriate to have on a professional resume? We'll take a few minutes, and if you have any thoughts, go ahead and pop in. With my screen share, I can't see hands go up, so if are there any problems? Which of these would be the better one to have on a professional resume? Are there any problems with Mary's contact information?
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Well, Mary used a nickname in her resume, and her Gmail doesn't seem very professional. Her email, sorry, and she also gave her address.
She's got, yeah, and doesn't have the zip code on the address, which you should do. Great. And any problems with Billy Bob's? I believe that's his real name, so we'll have to go with that.
He shouldn't use a PO box, and then as was mentioned in the chat, he's using his work email here, which is just an unprofessional look.
Right. Good.
Absolutely.
Right.
If I could add one thing as well,
Yeah.
just from my perspective, as part of the LGBTQ community, there's some conversation going around about if we should be putting pronouns in resumes or not. And so my opinion personally is like, if the company you're applying for is, if they have like a strong inclusion and DEI messaging from their company, then that's a good time to include it. But sometimes it can, provide them a little more information than you want them to know. So I pick and choose, whether or not I add them.
Amy, what are your thoughts on that?
So we have a strong community within that as well. But we also say that the acronyms are used usually in the job description. So if you see the job description, the acronyms are being used, then you can go ahead and respond with that in your resume.
Susan, I see your hand.
Yes, I was going to say, we live in a really rural area and all we have are PO boxes. So I'm guessing that's what we got to use, right? If we don't have any other mailing address.
With that, normally they're not going to mail you. They're
Oh,
going to call or email you, but they normally are not going to mail an actual return letter or thanks, but no thanks, or congrats, you got the job,
okay.
until they usually call or email you. So that's why we just say city and state.
I see. Thank you.
City and state. Okay.
Any other questions on this part?
These are all great questions. So
Yeah.
again, if you haven't opened up your Word document yet, I would suggest you would try doing that and start putting that information there.
Yep. Because we are going to
With
do next.
that, Esther, do you mind if I just jumping onto the
Please.
Word thing? Just so you know, a lot of the schools now only use Google as well. So Word, it has to be switched over to Google Docs for Word document, just so you guys know, because a lot of those schools only have Google Chrome, and that's the only format they can use. And being a state worker, that's ours now too.
So
Amy, you mean when they submit it as a Google Doc?
Yeah, it's a lot of it is we upload it in Google and we can print it in Google. Everything is done in Google now, Google Docs.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah,
I know that the schools in Pinell County, the public schools have all gone to Google and Chrome.
Okay, great.
your resume should also include an objective statement, and that's an objective statement is a brief statement to summarize the goal of your job search. It should be 1 to 2 sentences, no more than 2 if possible. You want to tailor it to the job you're applying for. So on your resume, if you're applying for different jobs, you want to make sure that you are looking at it and making changes for each job you apply for. This objective lists a couple of characteristics that employer would be looking for. You're hardworking, you have excellent customer service skills, and you're looking to use your education and background to whatever that job is asking for. So again, we're going to take a couple of minutes. Like Jerry said, you've got a document open. Write down an objective statement that you might use. We'll only take a couple of minutes on this because we're going to run out of time. But write down an example objective of what you might write on your resume. And then once you do that, we'll have a couple of people share it, and a couple of brave people share it. So some of you may have this done already. you might have done it in school, you might have already read ahead and thought about this. But is there anybody out there that would like to share their objective statement with us?
We have a question. Somebody still doesn't quite understand the objective statement.
Okay, thank
The
you.
chat, there's a question in the chat.
Oh, I can't see chat on this
Oh, I'm
share.
sorry, I'm sorry.
That's
It's-
okay.
It's directed to me because it's my youth.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So- Oh, go ahead, Susan.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say that that objective statement is just like the example that's up there. You're telling the potential employer, what are you good at? What is it that you are looking to do? What you're doing a job search. What is it you want to do? I'm looking for a job that will challenge me. I'm looking for a job where I can use my customer service skills. I'm looking for a job that I can use my my math skills. This is not me, obviously, but
So it's a sentence. It's a full sentence.
one or
and
two sentences, yes.
It's not a bullet point. It's a full sentence that will tell whoever's reading the document, this is who I am, I guess, and what I'm looking for.
Yes.
And for those that are just kind of starting the workplace, it can be kind of generic as, I would like to use my diverse skills to enhance company growth. Or I want to learn to grow my skills to enhance company growth. Just something brief.
Would somebody like to share? Asher, can I pick on you? I know you've got a resume written.
Why are you picking on me? Okay, so an objective statement would be something along the lines of I would love to work this job to improve my skills with people and use my already pre-existing skills of customer service and working as a team to improve the company and work on myself.
Good,
More or less, yeah.
thank you. Anybody else? Okay, for the sake of time, we'll move forward. Amy, do you have anything more on that?
No.
Okay. For the education section, you want to list any degrees or certifications that you have earned. Traditionally, you'll list your most recent degree first, followed by your second most recent or credential, and so on and so forth. As you list each degree and the date received, include where it was from and the type of degree or certificate that you earned. If you were on an honor roll or received any type of award, list it. It's okay to brag on your educational successes. As you move forward in the workforce, you can start dropping off some of those initial skills, not skills, but degrees and whatnot, such as your high school background and things like that. I know if you just have high school or GED degrees listed as general studies, and I can't see my, all right. And as far as listing the years, I think that's another area that, Amy, you might have something to say on. Some people say yes, others say no, depending on how long you've been missing from a workforce or.
Yeah, with education, even with entry level on up, we would put education towards the bottom usually, unless it's the only thing you really have. And we do not put the years because you are aging yourself either on the young side or on my case, the older side. So you want to make sure that you don't want to give somebody the impression that, if somebody was born in 1934, are they really able to do the job anymore? That type of thing. So you just want to put that you actually graduated or that you got your bachelor's.
So here's another exercise that you can do with the people you're presenting to. It shows two sets of educational information. And can you spot any potential problems that are listed here? What would be the most appropriate to list on a resume? The left side is one person. and the right side is the second person. What do you
I'm
guys
not
think?
sure if Asher or Rachel, but one of them just answered.
I'm glad you can see it because I can't.
Sorry, Asher or Rachel, whichever one. Do you guys want to answer that out loud? Because it's right.
Great. So the left side is ordered from oldest to newest when it should be newest to oldest.
That's right.
Very good.
What is something else with that one that you might want to leave off?
You might want to leave off the year like she was saying earlier.
The what?
Leave off the years.
What the years are fine. What about that GPA? Is that a good
Usually-
GPA?
No, it's not a good GPA, so I guess leave off the GPA.
Yeah, I would leave off the GPA. So
But you're right. You could leave off the years too.
so
So Amy, so that's typically when you get into my age, you don't want to put your years then?
That you don't want to put your years because at my age, yes, too. I'm right there. They don't want to judge you as, oh, I don't know if they'll catch on because of the older generation, different computer skills.
Ah,
Now, on the other hand, it also can work against the youth because do I want to take a chance on somebody who's so young or they think they know it all or that type of thing? So that's why we say if you can leave off the years, if you're
oh,
comfortable. I mean, it's ultimately your resume, do what you want, but it's our suggestion.
good to know. All right.
job. One of the most important sections of your resume is your work history. And again, this can be your volunteer history, like Norma was mentioning. A lot of you are doing extra work in 4-H in your schools. And so you definitely want to highlight that, and you can use it as work and related experience. And we'll be getting to a slide that talks about that a little bit more coming up. But you're going to want to list all of the things, just like your education. You want to list your current or your most recent job or volunteer experience first and work your way backwards. For each job listed, include at least 2 major duties that you are responsible for. You want to try to, for formatting reasons, you might only want to do 2 of those skills throughout your different positions. You don't want to have 7 on one job and 2 on the other unless they're really extraordinary. If you don't know the exact dates that you started or left, you can list the month. And you don't have to have a long work history, but you can include your volunteer work to show your skills and ability to handle responsibility. Norma,
And
you
employers are
mentioned-
really looking at that. Sorry, Esther, that they are looking for transferable skills. And so volunteer work is phenomenal to add on there because transferable skills, you may be interested in a position, but you'd be surprised at what employers are looking at and what they consider transferable from volunteer work or even everyday household management skills.
I was going to say that this is a great position to add to your resume. You're a STEM ambassador or an ag ambassador for 4-H.
Absolutely.
Tom has his hand up.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for a resume to be custom tailored to a job that you're applying for. And so when you look carefully at the job posting, not just the duties and responsibilities, often they list the skills that they're looking for. Be sure to list the skills on your resume that align with what you have.
Absolutely.
And do it in exact same wording, because a lot of times when jobs are posted, there is an automated system. Say you have 60 applicants going through, often it's automated. And so they will screen to look for the number of matches with those kinds of skills, for example, these kinds of things. And so it's really important to list as much of that as possible and phrase it in the way that you see it in the job posting.
Yep.
Absolutely.
This is a chance for you to list the skills that you have and make sure that you can provide an example when you have demonstrated this skill in a work environment. Like Tom said, if you're applying for a particular job, you can list the skills that are specific to that job here if you have experience in them. And you can, and it's not listed in your work history. And some examples of those are good communication, both written and oral, customer service, problem solving, time management, mechanical skills, computer skills. For young individuals or people that have been out of the workforce for a while, put your skills at the top of your resume.
Yep.
So that it's something that people will see right away. And it will show that you've got relevant experience, although it might not be listed further down. And same hands are up. Norma and Tom, who's going for it first?
Norma.
Okay, thanks. I was gonna say here, those who know more than one language, it's good to say I'm bilingual.
Absolutely.
On either English or Spanish, or English and Italian, or English and French, whatever. So that's always a plus. And under computer skills, you can say what you're very proficient in, like Microsoft 365, or in social media, or, you know, you can mention those.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
In social media, you can name the platforms, either Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you know, all the things that you are good at, even website management sometimes.
You want to be careful on the social media though, because the employers are going to research every single one of those social media platforms and look for you. So you just make sure that what you've got out there is appropriate to have out there. And it happens all the time.
It's good to manage, to be able to know it, so they can, sometimes they want people posting for marketing and spreading the word.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Tom?
but I think, sorry to jump in real quick, but I think Amy, what she's referring to, and you have a really good point, Norma, in terms of just the technical skills of them, but in terms of the exposure that you're giving yourself. And so I think Amy's saying that if you have, you know, especially for those of you that are seniors or you're in college, you don't want to be at a bar showing that you're slamming all these beers out there or doing inappropriate things, and you're applying for positions. So your social media needs to be, you know, you shouldn't be
Politics need to be neutral.
Yeah.
No strong opinions one way or another on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram. Yeah, because employers will research you.
Yep, exactly.
Tom?
Sorry, I have a
Yeah,
question.
so, I'll just finish real quick here. So I taught classes at the university for many years on careers and resume building. And, you know, obviously I was working with students in that environment. A common question that I was asked, and this is something that would come up with high school students as well, is, you know, what kinds of skills do I have? You know, what kinds of experience do I have when all I've done is take classes? Well, one of the nice things about the classes is that you're given a syllabus for each class that you take, at least hopefully. And those syllabi should have in them the student learning outcomes listed. And those are observable and measurable student learning outcomes. You can copy and paste those student learning outcomes into your resume as skills and sometimes experience, particularly for the courses that you did well in.
Yep. Lucia, you had a question?
Yes, so about the social media thing. So do you think it would be wise to create like a professional social media platform, or just not try to give any information on what I have already?
Lucia, I would recommend LinkedIn, because that is a professional platform for social media, LinkedIn.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but just know employers are going to research your name. If they're interested in you, they're going to research your name on all social media. So be careful what you put out there. Same thing if you're in, somebody said they played volleyball, and I can tell you My daughter plays in college. Those coaches will also research you on social media and find out what you're really like.
It's-
Okay, thank you.
It's just good to be careful.
Yep.
So, one of the things that Arizona at Work has brought to us is a wonderful site. I encourage you to write this down, make it part of your presentation, and check it out for yourself. It's called ONET Online, although Kyle and I call it One Ton Line. But that's because that's who we are. But when you go here, I'll see if I can do this.
Can you put that in the chat, the link?
Yes. You can actually look in here and find different occupations. So let's say I wanted to work retail. I would type retail in here and it has, Amy, you're going
It's
to be.
not sharing, Esther, on this end.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Well,
Stop, share the PowerPoint and go to the.
Yeah.
I refuse to do that. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Is it sharing now?
No.
Well, that's unfortunate. Amy, can you share from your site?
Probably not. I'm sorry, I'm on my small laptop only, not my 3 screens, so I can't.
Okay.
Esther, are you trying to go to that link that you
Yes.
sent?
Yeah.
There.
There you go.
There you go. So would you mind walking them through that, Amy?
So you can just type in any type of retail and type in, we call it ONET as our short version of it. Go ahead and hit enter. And it'll take you through types of job descriptions, technology that is used during it. It gives somebody an idea of what really that position can offer and a wide variety of requirements that are possibly interactive with that position as well. So if they may say, I want to do retail, and this is what they see, and they're looking at, oh, I've got to influence others and I'm not very talkative. That may not be where I want to go. Or the work activities, I have to, possibly talk to people all day long and I have to have a smile on my face all day. That may not be the way I want to go either. So it kind of gives them a neat little sharing of different things. And it kind of tells you to the job zones, related experiences that will transfer, like when we were talking about transferring skills, it kind of goes through that as well.
It gives you a lot of ideas. Also, when you're looking for skills, you might look and say, oh, look, I do know how to persuade others to
Yep.
change their minds. I know how to bring others together. It's a great website that you can go to and check things out. And once you get familiar with it, you can refer people to it during your presentations. I know Kyle and I were having fun with it with different jobs and descriptions and stuff. So this is a great site for you when you're building your resume. Like Jerry said, you can look at your different abilities, your skills, including interests that might be relevant to that position. It's a really nice site. So I encourage you guys to check that out.
And we do encourage our people to actually look at it too. In fact, as part of the registration with us, they have to go through the ONET system.
Great. Hey, so Esther, real quick, we're at the top of the hour. We're
We-
probably not finished with the presentation, right?
We are just about there, Jerry.
3
Are we?
slides.
3 slides?
Yep.
Okay. If you wanna,
Yeah, if I can share again. Can you see what I've got?
It's still on the ONET one, so we can go to the next one.
Okay. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so references, like Amy said at the top, you don't want to put your references on your resume, but you can put that references are available upon request. But do have those references ready so that when you do get that interview, you can present a nice resume. Please not on pink paper, please not on scented paper. That only worked for Legally Blonde. And again, have a packet ready that has your references ready to share with them at that interview. Remember, your resume is there to get you the interview. And so on your references, you can talk to past employers, teachers, leaders in the community. If you don't have any references, start volunteering in other places. I believe the United Way takes volunteers all the time, and they would love to write reference letters for people that are volunteering. Salvation Army, some of those community groups that are looking for volunteers, when, you know, handing out at food banks and things like that. It shows that you're responsible, you show up on time, you're willing to do some work. Get references from them if you don't have any lined up, but go to your job interview with that packet ready to go.
Yep.
I'm not going to go through all of the Word, the font and things like that. I think you all know how to use Word. You're in your presentation, you may be teaching people that don't know how to use Word. So keep that in mind, be kind and patient. A lot of them do, but some of those entering the workforce for the second time or unexpectedly may not have that experience. And so that is part of the presentation that you do have available for you on the Tech Changemaker website. So I know we're at the top of the hour, so I'm going to wrap it up. Are there any questions? We were very fortunate to have Amy available tonight because, again, she's working with this on a daily basis. I appreciate her being here. But while she's here, if anybody has any questions, that would be the time. Hearing none. Oh, there's one. Victoria.
Hi, good afternoon. I entered this Zoom call later on because the link they passed me was late. But for when is this resume like due?
Good question. We meet once a month, and so we wanted for our next meeting, which is probably, I don't know if November 30th. It's after Thanksgiving. It's at the end of the month. We'd like that first draft. So that way, maybe by then you can go ahead and we'll spend some time on the line. We can be reviewing some of them. Maybe we'll break out in you know, groups. We could figure it out, but at least that way we can get some eyes on it and give you some feedback, and you can make some edits right there and then. So that way we can do that. So basically you have about 4 weeks.
And Esther, you can tell me if I'm wrong to do this or whoever, but if anybody is interested, Esther can give you guys my emails. You guys want to shoot me copies of it, I will be glad to look at it as well. So I'm always available if anybody needs anything on that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy.
Yeah. So again, there are a lot of sample resumes that we can take a look at. I know we're out of time tonight, but maybe next meeting before we look at people's, we can show a sample one. This is just to give you a brief introduction and open up that Tech Changemaker slide deck and personalize it so that when you're presenting, because Tech Changemakers, we do have more than just the drones. We have a lot of other things that we can be teaching as well, and this is one of them. So thank you, Amy. Thank you, Norma.
I know us at Arizona Work are so glad to be partnering with you guys on this. I see some really big things happening with this partnership, and I'm always available if you need me.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Norma. And back to you, Jerry.
I'm going to leave, but thank you guys.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye-bye.
So at this point then, does November 30th seem okay? Or when we meet with the STEM team, or if you could please look at your calendars, and in that way we know that it'll be a month from now at the end of the month in November for us to meet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think it's a Thursday. I think that's what it is. If you can look at the calendar real quick. November 30th. Nope, it's not a Thursday. It's a Monday. No, it's not. It's a Thursday. If I can get my calendar straight here. November 30th. Does that sound okay then with everyone? All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So that's what
Yes.
we'll do.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. 6 to 7, please come with your resumes ready. That way we can get some eyes on them and some feedback, and we can go ahead. And again, it's always a work in progress, but it'll be a great way to go ahead and get it going. All right, everyone?
Jerry, there were a few people in the chat. I offered to share my resume, so if you need to leave, that's fine, but I can stick around for a few minutes and share
Yeah,
mine.
no, I don't need to leave. But no, that would be great. If you want to share it in the chat, that would be great.
I'll just share it on the screen here.
Oh, got you. Yeah, that's a good idea. So
Yeah.
for those of you that need to jump off, you're more than welcome to jump off. Otherwise we'll stay on. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
So
Hi,
this is,
Thank
oh,
you.
hi. Sorry.
Hi, Ashton. I wanted to ask, like, how you knew which activities you wanted to name, because I have a lot of activities, but I don't know which ones fit like my resumes currently are for universities, and I don't know if universities want all of my activities or only like some maybe career oriented ones.
So for a university, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I recall is universities want to see most of what you've done. So your resume can be longer than 1 page if it's for a university. If it were me, I would choose like my strongest activities or the things that I've done the most with, rather than listing like maybe every single little experience that I have. Like if I did 1 or 2 volunteer days with an organization, maybe leave those off. But if I'm volunteering with an organization like 400 hours in my high school career, that's definitely something I would put on there. And then maybe also consider catering it to what you're hoping to do in university. So like if you were going into biology, maybe highlight like any science experiences that you have, versus if you're going into art, maybe you would want to highlight those experiences.
Well, to what you said, Ashton, sometimes kids nowadays are in many clubs, but they can be in a club but not really participate that much. It's better to put the one that you have a lot of hours input, that you've input a lot into that club, or maybe you're an officer. That way it's more than listing many clubs, but you're not really involved that much.
For sure.
Thank you.
So, hey, Ashton, I'm seeing, so you opted, I guess, part of, like what Amy and Esther were saying. So you're not even including any dates.
No, I don't include any dates.
So not even in your work, not even in your,
So here's the thing about applying to jobs nowadays. Like you'll send them a resume and then they'll generally ask you to like submit some other information, whether that's in a form online or they'll ask you for like, at this current job that I have, I sent in my resume, and then once I got through the interview process and I was about to be offered the position, they had me complete an additional form that provided more details with dates. So I choose to leave them entirely off my resume. I think they clutter up the page. And also, in between, like after I left this job here, I was not working for about 6 months. So that was like a strategic choice to leave that off entirely.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, when you have to apply for a position, the portal, you register, and
the portal
does ask for everything.
Sometimes. Yeah,
so. All right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Jerry, I think Ruth is asking about access to the Google Slides.
Yes, the Google Classroom. Yes, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna be adding all these presentations as well as maybe some examples of resumes. Along with the recording, we're gonna add it to the Google Classroom. And then we're gonna invite all of you ambassadors and the adults to be a part of it. So we should be able to get that done in the next couple of days. So you'll be getting a calendar invite. Most of you, if you haven't done it yet, you'll be able to register as an ambassador on, matter of fact, let me share that real quick. Let's see if I have it here. So STEM ambassador, you go there, and then here you would go then to your county and you would go ahead and register. So if you're in Santa Cruz County, you'd go there and then you'd register, and then I'll use this information, your email that you put there. That's what I'll use to go ahead and give you access to the Google Classroom. Okay.
Today, Laura also registered, Laura Keith, on this website.
Oh, awesome. And then if we need to, like sometimes emails, we have to change up the email because it's not, Google isn't responding to it and stuff. So we'll figure out another email then that you might need to give you access.
I wanted to give the opportunity to see if somebody else has a question, Victoria or Lucia or Gabe. Any questions?
I have another question.
Mhm.
So, like I wrote my email down for this, well, for this, but I think it got written, like I wrote it down incorrectly, or it wasn't, well, I didn't write my email correctly, and I got the link, it was forwarded to me by someone, and I was wondering if I could how I could give my correct email address.
So let me log on real quick.
You mean the link to the meeting or to the website?
No, my email address. I wrote it down incorrectly and I got when I signed up. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you register, Victoria, on the link that I just showed you?
The link, the 121T online.
Yeah, let me show you real quick. So this one right here. Did you go to this link down here?
Oh no, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. So what did you register for that you put the wrong email?
Well, sorry. So to get into this meeting, I had to give my email to somebody in my school who's putting everything together. And
yes, you gave it to Miss Hopkins. Nina Hopkins.
I gave it to Miss Hopkins, but I had written it down incorrectly, but I can do what you told me right now to fix it.
You can also give it to me, and we'll make sure that we send it to the right one. So
okay.
Can you send it to me in the chat?
Yeah.
It's Norma Elisa Ruiz, and I'll just make sure that we have it. I'll give it to Miss Hopkins.
Do I write my school email or
the personal one? Because sometimes school emails don't let us. They block other universities or other schools' emails.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Laura, Ruth, Victoria, Lucia? Go ahead, Victoria.
Yeah, so I still haven't signed up as a 4-H member. I'm actually gonna do this as soon as possible. But can I still signed up as an ambassador before like being part of the club, or do I have to do the club first?
So what county are you from?
Santa Cruz.
Oh, so yeah, Norma would know.
Yes, you're in the process of becoming, you're already in the process.
Oops, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we might have lost Norma because she's frozen right there. So Victoria, so you're in Santa Cruz. Were you gonna be then a STEM ambassador?
Yes.
Okay. And then what grade are you in?
I'm a junior, 11th grade.
11th, okay. And you said Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so pretty much you'll be working with Norma and in becoming a STEM ambassador and being a part of this. So what I can go ahead and do, let me share this again, and I'll go ahead and put this in chat. Copy. So you can go to that website. And then once you go to that website, you'll go to more information and to register.
Sorry, something happened to my Zoom.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just
I was
walking
gonna-
them through. I'm just walking them through this real quick. I shared the link with them.
I was
so that-
gonna say, just go ahead and register because you are already part of the 4-H. There's a little things to finish still, but you're we're finishing that right now. So go ahead and sign up.
Any other?
Lucia, Ruth, and Victoria. And Laura, your club has already been ready forever. So
Okay.
I think, well, you already signed up, Laura.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Victoria or Laura or Ruth?
I'm all good, thank you.
No, I don't think I have any questions.
No,
All
thank
right.
you.
Awesome. Hey, was your brother gonna join us as well, Laura, or he wasn't?
I think he's at work right now, so maybe next meeting.
Oh,
I think he'll
okay.
be joining us. Yes.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, you can update him on it
Okay.
and share with him what we went over and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
for being here, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Good
Yeah.
night.
Good night.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye, Victoria, Ruth,
Bye.
Lucia, Laura.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Let me know if you have questions on your
Okay.
resume.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you. Bye.
Good, Norma. You had a great turnout.
Faltaron los niños de STEM de la Lourdes, eran las niñas de la Lourdes y Laura de Jennifer, Jennifer that we talked about this morning.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
no, good for you. So, all righty. Well, we'll see you then tomorrow morning at 10, right? Did you get the
the Ignite, ¿verdad?
yeah.
Sí.
Yep. All righty.
Thank you.
Did you get a chance to talk to Liz yet or no?
No, I've been
Okay.
so busy.
Yeah. All righty.
Otro problema, you have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
The
You're
same
kidding.
lady, no sabes. Oy, 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 no sabes.
La misma de
Ujú. Llegó en la mañana, mandó a alguien a entregar el financial report. Entonces le dije yo, fíjate que te faltó esto, te faltó el otro. Y luego, pues yo no quise firmar porque pues no estaba completo. No, pues se mandó con Ed, Kathy.
qué bueno. Hey, porque tú no ibas a firmar.
Claro que no. Bueno, es un cuento que yo no quiero cooperar, y que no sé cuánto. Para empezar, I'm afraid to do so because I think she's setting me up for something wrong.
Yeah.
Pero fui a hablar con Rodolfo, aquí sigo en la oficina, pero, y le dije, no quiero firmar nada, porque ella quería que yo firmara que recibí unas cosas. pues las cosas que recibí aparte del report were not right. No había una cantidad. So I cannot, you know. Entonces le dije, voy a ir a averiguar. Entonces le mandó decir esta señora a ella, la que rezonga, que no quise y que no sé cuánto, que no quiero comprar. No es cierto. Ella me dijo, ¿sabes qué? I have to go, y se fue. I would just say, hold on, ahorita vengo. You know, they're just finding,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
you know,
Hey,
Ed, Kathy, everybody, and everybody. Así,
yeah,
very angry.
yeah, it's that type of a person. Yeah,
No
that's
tienes
too
idea.
bad. Yeah, you'll be fine because you're covering your bases and
Claro, I prefer to make sure than be sorry. O sea, y
yeah,
más con ella, ¿no?
yeah, exactly. All righty. Well,
All
you
right.
have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.